Good day, everybody. It's time for another review. I did some wrestling with my conscience on whether or not I was going to feature this specimen because it does have a production flaw that is being addressed, and I don't want to be accused of blackmail or maker shaming. But I'm going to give, in the interest of full disclosure, a front to back on this piece by Mateen Ahmed, and it is a 4mm zinc hand-tooled leather WCW Light Heavyweight Championship. This belt, most associated with the Brian Pillman Jushin Thunder Liger feud of the early 90s. One of the designs that I enjoy because of the red banners. I've got a thing for belts that have red banners, and I got a thing for obscure mid-card titles from the 90s. So we've checked all the boxes on this one. Those two people were the most well-known champions. There were actually only 4 wrestlers to hold this title. Pillman and Liger had their exchange with it. Also, I believe Scotty the Body, later known as Raven, and Brad Armstrong was the last champion before this belt was quietly retired. So, as I was saying when I opened, the actual production and delivery of this belt was subject to a series of unfortunate events, including but not limited to the pandemic. There was a flaw in the etching that made the plates need to be redone, and what ended up happening was I was sent the flawed plates instead of the correct ones. You see right in the top of the W there's a gash that's been painted red. Whoever was doing the painting for Mateen must have just thought that was part of the design on that particular day. But as I was saying, there is a replacement in production, and end to end, this belt's as good as any belt that you can get from Mateen Ahmed. He's been a popular maker for a number of years now. Typically, he doesn't do hand-tooled straps. You have to pay an upgrade and ask for those. The work on his leather is usually done by press plates and a shop hand to do the tooling on the outside. But he's got a full set of tools, so he can do what you ask him to do. Usually in a Mateen snap box, he's got his press plate design. This, get right on top of it. Excuse me, I got individual tool markings. That's how much extra work goes into a hand-tooled strap. All right, what Mateen tends to do, focus, when he does his snap boxes hand-tooled, he does a double beveling. So he goes around here, and then he does another layer in here, and puts the snaps in the middle. The edges, he does, if we come up here, right, he does a good job rounding around the main plate, and then it kind of wears out as you come along the strap. See, we've gotten a lot flatter here, and then it's just kind of rough cut the rest of the way. So, the bottom of the main plate, the top of the main plate, you can see And as we extend out, we come to what most of his straps look like. All right, I think this belt, it might have a 3mm main plate and 4mm side plates. It's really weird how they come across, because it's pretty lightweight, but it's also a pretty small design. Anyway, physically it feels nice. The design is on the money as far as I know. I like to call this, I think I'm going to start calling this the little gold, because if you compare it to the big gold, it borrows a lot of its main plate shape and the floral pattern on the outside from that. But it's just an etch concept belt. And it's one that you don't see very often at all. I think I've only actually seen one other copy of this, and Dustin had it made for himself. But our side plates with our guys painted in there. Like I said, the unfortunate thing is that when you make as many belts as Mateen does, you start hiring a lot of shop hands to do the grunt work, and somebody just didn't understand that that's not the one that was supposed to be sent out. But as I said at the beginning, it's being addressed. I will get a redone version. The texture of the leather is not bad at all. It's a nice strong leather. And people like to see the flop, right? Flop, flop, flop. I really don't care about the flop, but other people do. Now, I know that Mateen is very aware of what gets said about him in public forum, and I know that he can be sensitive to criticism. But if I'm going to be honest with everybody, and the maker's going to be honest with himself, Mateen's hand-tooled leather is not the premier quality in the market. It's better than what you get on his standard belts. He offers the upgrade at a very nominal fee. So, his better leather is cheaper than other guys, which is what Mateen has made his spot in the market with, right? You can pay somebody else more to get it done better, but he will do it, and he will do his best at it. When you compare Mateen's hand-tooled leather to some of his competitors, though, you can see that the skill level has a variance. But let the man do his work. He can still make a quality belt at a reasonable price very quickly. And that's what most of the collector market is after these days. Just to give you guys an illustration of what I'm talking about in hand-tooled leather, let me pull out a strap real quick here. All right, so here is a hand-tooled strap. And what's different, again, you can use different tools on the leather. So Mateen's got this crisscross with the double bevel. And it doesn't look like he swivel cuts his lines at all. This belt has really, really deep swivel cuts around the outside. Like all the way down to the bottom of the leather, it almost seems. And it also has a pear tooling in the snap box. See, it's a different texture. It's a different belt. Different belts have different ways they were done. But I like the swivel cut version of a strap. versus just the hammered down version. So anyway, this is a nice belt. It's very much a product of its time. It's clean along the back. And save for that one flaw in the main plate, it's everything that I expected it to be. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last 10 minutes. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.